Welcome back to Coin Shop Confessionals, the only show where everything we talk about is real, actually happens, and you can watch my soul glitch in real time. Today we're talking about a typical Tuesday in the shop. And if you've ever worked retail, you already know what that means. The universe spins the wheel of bullshit to see where it lands on my counter. I'm just a guy trying to make enough coin to keep the doors open every day. That's it. That's the whole business model. Survive until tomorrow. All right, so let's talk about today. So the first customer of the day walks in holding what he calls an ancient Roman silver coin. And listen, I've been doing this long enough to know that when someone says ancient Roman silver, what they usually mean is this was in a drawer. So I run it on the XRF, and the XRF says, and I quote, 65% lead, 20% silver, 15% of whatever was left on the floor that day. And he said, but it's Roman. I said, no, it's plumbing, Lowe's, aisle 16, bay 12. Probably next to the bathtub drains. And the best part, he looks at me like I was the one that's crazy. Like I was the one who didn't understand ancient Roman PVC fittings. It's a typical Tuesday. And then guy walks in with Grandpa's collection. And when someone says Grandpa's collection, there's a 50-50 chance that it's either a treasure chest of history or it's a Franklin Mint starter kit and a dream. This one? Oh, this was a speed run. The man walks in with a binder so shiny I could see my own disappointment in the reflection. Polished mint sets. Like aggressively polished. Like someone tried to buff them into a different dimension. A half dime that was in a flip that had something like MS written on it. And the coin? VG, please help me. In reality. And I swear to you, I watched this man go through all 5 stages of grief in under 30 seconds. Denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and finally acceptance. A new world record. This is a typical Tuesday. So then, a guy walks in with a stack of Morgans he bought from someplace he'd bought the last batch from. When someone says, I got a great deal on these, that's usually code for I'm about to emotionally injure both of us. So I start looking at them, and every single one of them, and I mean every single one, is a fake. He didn't buy coins. He bought a subscription service for disappointment. A monthly delivery, free shipping, no returns, and the best part? He looks at me and goes, are you sure? Sir, these coins are so fake, they should come with a Netflix documentary. These things weren't even trying. The eagles look like chickens, the stars look like someone sneezed while engraving them, and Lady Liberty looked like she was going through a divorce. I've seen better Morgans in Halloween costume jewelry. I've seen better Morgans in claw machines. I've seen better Morgans in dreams I had while I was sick with the flu. And then I get a man that walks in and he's got like 60 ounces of silver eagles. 60, as in 60, as in 3 full tubes worth of emotional damage. And he puts them on the counter like he's about to reveal the Ark of the Covenant. And I'm thinking, okay, maybe today won't be that bad. I was wrong. I was so wrong. I tell him the price. And he's like, but spot's X. Well, yeah. So I explain spot, I explain premium, I explain the entire breakdown. And I swear to you, I watched this man's soul leave his body, just gone. Like a balloon slipping out of a toddler's hand at the zoo. He didn't blink, he didn't breathe, he didn't move, he just blue screened. I've seen people take bad news before, but this man? This man looked like I told him his dog ran away, his truck exploded, and his wife left with the mailman. All in the same sentence. And he goes, but I paid way more than that. Sir, we all paid more than that. That's the Silver Eagle experience. It's not an investment. It's a lifestyle disease. These things are emotional support bullion. They're not supposed to make money. They're supposed to sit in a safe and make you feel like you're doing something responsible with your life. And then when you sell them, you get the experience, all 5 stages of grief in under a minute. It's like a spiritual cleanse, but, worse. But it's a typical Tuesday. And then because the universe hates me personally, the shop goes full pawn shop mode on me. I don't know what happens on Tuesdays. I don't know if there's a full moon. I don't know if someone sacrifices a silver eagle to the gods of stupidity. But every Tuesday, without fail, someone walks in here with something that has no business being in a coin shop. So this guy pulls into my parking lot, gets out with a rifle. Not a coin, not bullion, not a collection, a rifle. Like he's about to trade it in for a 1921 Morgan and a handshake. Sir, this is a coin shop, not a pawn shop, not a gun shop, not a militia recruitment center. A coin shop. And he goes, it's not working, but do you buy these? No, I do not. I buy coins, round metal discs, not broken weapons of medium range disappointment. And then he gets offended. Like I'm the unreasonable one. Like I'm supposed to say, oh yeah, let me just put that next to the barber halves and the proof sets. At this point, I'm waiting for someone to walk in with a lawnmower, a ferret, and some divorce papers. Because apparently, we're just doing whatever today. And then, because the universe wasn't done with me yet, the phone starts ringing, and ringing, and ringing. Like it's trying to warn me about my own future. First guy calls up and it's like, hey, what's Spot? Circle. Google exists. It's free. It's on every device you own. You could ask your toaster and it could tell you Spot faster than calling me. Then the next caller calls. And he's like, yeah, I got an 82 D cent, weighs 3.11 grams. I think it's the rare one. They're all 3.11 grams. Standard weight. Congratulations, you have found a penny worth less than a burnt Pop-Tart. Why? Because all 82 cents are just 1 cent. And then I get the eBay visionary. I saw one of these on eBay for... No, you didn't. You saw a cry for help. You saw a listing from a man who hadn't probably slept since 2014. You saw a number on that someone typed while hallucinating on mushrooms. This isn't rare. This is delusional. Call number 4. The next caller says, hey, I found a quarter. Is it rare? Sir, if it was rare, you wouldn't have found it in a cup holder next to 3 French fries and a receipt from Wendy's. Caller 5 calls up a few minutes later. And he's like, yeah, I got a bunch of coins. Can you tell me what they're worth? And that's like calling the doctor and saying, I have a body. What's wrong with it? And that was all before lunch. So at this point in the day, I'm mentally checking myself into Coin Dealers Anonymous. Not a real place, just an imaginary support group in my head where all the other dealers go to scream into the void. I'm sitting there thinking about the other shops around town and what they probably dealt with today as well. Mike's probably still recovering from that steel scent that looked like it survived a house fire. Linda, she's probably off somewhere watching another Silver Eagle seller's soul float off like a balloon at the zoo. She's basically the grief counselor of the group at this point. Carl's still fighting the glue penny war. The man hasn't known peace since 2018. And Rick's probably still traumatized from the same guy that showed up with a rifle. Guess what? Still not a coin. And then there's me. And I'm trying to explain to the imaginary group that I had someone trying to flirt with me today like she was trying to get a discount on emotional stability. And listen, she was cool, she was funny, she was pretty, but I'm not available. So now I'm standing there like a malfunctioning Roomba trying not to run into furniture. I didn't ask for this side quest. I didn't sign up for this DLC. I'm just trying to run a coin shop, not star in a Hallmark movie. And in my imaginary support group, everyone just nods, because we've all been there. Unwanted flirtations in the middle of numismatic chaos. And then we close with the dealer serenity prayer. Grant me the strength to accept the coins I cannot fix, the courage to tell people their Morgans are fake, and the wisdom not to lose my shit on a Tuesday. Amen. And then another call. Do you buy copper tubing? Sir, this is a coin shop, not a scrap metal yard. He says, but okay, do you buy copper tubing? Sir, I buy silver and gold, not your disappointments. And as if the universe wasn't quite done yet, a guy walks in with a hunk of metal. He walks up to my counter like he's about to present to me the Hope Diamond. And he says, I have over an ounce of palladium. And I'm looking at this stuff, and it definitely doesn't look right. It looks more like pewter that reality gave up on. But I take it, I pop it into my good old XRF. And it comes back as lead. 999.9999%. Lead. Just lead. 42 grams of wadded up, half melted lead. And he looks at me without missing a beat and says, how much will you give me for it? And I swear my soul started filling out divorce papers and a final will. And when I explain to him that it's just lead, it's not worth anything to me, he looks at me like I'm the reason it's not valuable. Like I personally guard the secret to lead being worth the GDP of a small island nation. So at this point, I'm thinking the day is finally finished. I'm ready to lock the door, turn off the lights, go home to question my life choices. And then this happens. A guy walks in with a coin and a certificate of authenticity. And listen, I've seen some bad COAs. I've seen COAs written by people who clearly failed English, history, and sobriety. But this one is special. This COA looks like Windows 3.1 tried to download the printer driver, got to 12%, panicked, and the printer just said, fuck it here, and shut down. This isn't a COA. This is the printer's last dying breath. It basically says, this is kind of a coin, we think, probably old, made by people, again, we think. Good luck, bro. This isn't documentation. This is a shrug printed on paper. This is the equivalent of an ancient Roman coupon. Not even a good one. Not like 10% off Amphora. Not buy one chariot wheel, get one free. Just here, thing. Oh, redeem for disappointment. And the funniest part, the coin in the picture is actually real. And so was the coin. A sesterces. Lucius Verus. 164 to 169 AD. A legit Roman bronze. And this is how they described it. Ancient coin, made by ancient people in ancient times. Bro, that's not a description. That's a horoscope. This is the last thing the printer spit out before it shit itself. And you can still hear the dot matrix screaming in the background if you hold the paper up to your ear. Look, one of these was made in 165 AD, and the other was made in Microsoft Word at 2 a.m. by someone who gave up halfway through. And that was my Tuesday.